Okay, Journal 2 by me. This is basically a self-teaching journal, and it's also a journal where it shows my mistakes. I'll suggest solutions, and if they fail, I'll try and find more solutions. So future journals will be more accurate than this one. Initially, I need to talk about when I'm playing solo queue. I need to focus on the main things because I can fix all the small mistakes, but I won't be getting results quickly if I focus on the big things that I can use in every single game, like map awareness, warding, actions per minute, laning phase, and that would help me win more games. Most importantly, I need to be very aggressive, and I need to be taking objectives aggressively because I need to be the one who closes out the game. There's no point going for a very long game when all the turrets are up. It just makes it harder. Holt stands for hungry, angry, um, tired, and hmm, and lonely. And whenever I experience these four things, I need to take a break and try and solve them. Otherwise, it's just a recipe for disaster. For example, if I'm angry, calm down. If I'm tired, sleep. If I'm lonely, talk to someone. If I'm hungry, eat something. I need to look at every single replay when I'm playing solo queue so that I can see what small mistakes I'm making, and I can practice the big mistakes or the big skills, see that I'm actually improving, and I can make notes on this as well. Additionally, I need to learn how to deal with tilts on the long haul. I am very good at controlling it, and I should try and aim to look at one high elo video so that I know who I'm comparing myself to. I can self-teach myself from looking at the high elo video. I'm just using scans. If deciding between team fighting and split pushing, if I don't have TP and my team is doing a backwards fight, I can't help them because I'm too far away, so I spam ping them to stop. I should try and help team fights whenever I can, so long as I'm not under leveled, because the more team fights I help in, the more gold I get, and the higher the chances for us winning the game. Team fights really does win games, but only do it if I'm not severely under leveled. The only time when I still team fight, even when I'm under leveled, is if the enemy might win the fight and then end the game. For example, if they're the inhibitor, they could end the game if they lose the fight. So I have to at least help them early instead of just waiting for them to lose and losing the game because I cannot 1v5. And if there's a silly team fight, then I should just stay split pushing. Additionally, if there's a team fight that my team is going to win without me, like a 4v2 or 3v2, then I should just stick to split pushing because it gives more map pressure. So yeah, if my team will probably win, just keep splitting. There's a chance that I'll win the team fight and get a lot of kills. Then instead of splitting, I should go for the team fight because more money and it helps close the game out. Team fights really is top, but in solo queue, it's a bit tricky. But I've explained it in this PowerPoint already just now. Yeah, split pushing gives me objectives and pressure. Team fighting snowballs and will put me back into the game if we're behind, or it can end the game. Team fights are useless without capitalizing. So even if I win a team fight, what's the point if I can't get an objective afterwards? What I should be doing is just pushing a lane constantly, so that when I win a team fight, I can go back to the lane and then get an objective immediately. If I'm just doing a team fight, then I won't be getting any objectives. If we did a team fight in a lane with inhibitors already down, so the wave is pushing against us, there's no point pushing that. I should just go to another lane where pushing it will be easier, unless if I'm in a team. But sometimes you just have to solo get objectives, just solo pushing and solo getting objectives. Deciding between damage or defensive build. If I'm versing an assassin, go defensive because they will two-shot you at power spikes. Defensive is safer, but however, if I'm doing fine, like I'm doing alright in laning phase, I know they can't kill me, then I should just go and get damage, because it means that I'll have a bigger impact earlier. If I'm locking Katarina and I get Hex Drinker, I'm not having as much of an impact as if I had a Gunblade, because if I have a Gunblade, I can do a lot of damage. Hex Drinker is still very defensive. In the strange scenario where I'm 0 and 2, I should change my build into specifically split pushing. Like for example, if I'm on Kassadin, I should get GLP 200, because the passive helps me split push faster. Sometimes split pushing might be the only thing I can do in such a stage. I should get a tiny bit of armor and MR, because if the enemy ADC or mage is like 3 and 0, I won't be able to 1v1 them if I just get 2-shot. If I have a little bit of armor or MR, then I'll be able to survive a little bit longer. Obviously don't go full armor or MR, just go damage, because you need damage to stay in the game. However, if only one person is really fed, for example, only enemy Katarina is fed, then I should just go on straight into Spirit Visage, or better yet, Abyssal Mask if I'm on Kassadin. Deciding between staying in mid lane or recalling. If I'm full HP and mana, stay. If I'm 60% HP and I have low mana, as Kassadin I can stay. As Ahri, I should probably leave and get another Doran's Ring. But as Kassadin, I can get my mana back with my W. If I'm 30% HP, I should just recall. If I'm full HP, low mana, and want to kill, as Kassadin, I should go for it, as my W will give me a lot of mana back. If I'm 40% HP and the enemy might get level 6 before me, then I should just recall, otherwise the enemy would kill me with their power spec, especially if I have no flash. Also on Kassadin, I keep forgetting that my level 1 auto attacks are very weak, so I should adapt my playstyle into waiting for the minions to get very low HP. I should be careful of the enemy level 2 power spike. I should hit tab and count the minions they have. If they have 6, if they're close to 6, they're more likely to get level 2 and one-shot me. So I should be a bit conscious about it. If I'm versing Diana and she keeps chunking me and taking me out of lane, I should probably get Dark Chill and Corrupting Potion together, as this will help me stay in the lane much longer. I need to spam E even when I don't know if it's off cooldown, because it relies on number of skill shots thrown, and I should treat it like a linear skill shot, because I can miss it if I don't throw it properly. So I should wait and aim at a chance where I can actually hit it. If I overextend for a kill, I should go straight to base, because especially if 4 enemies are missing, because they all would probably be beelining towards me. Don't QE a tank like Shyvana if I'm less than 50% HP, or she will one-shot me, and because she gets very fed late game and she's very tanky. I need to notice Echo's ultimate cooldown very religiously. He will tower dive me if I'm less than 40% HP, and the trick to beating him is to duke around him, go around him in a circle. If he throws a Q, just keep going around, and it will be very hard for him to stun lock me down. If he TPs to lane, I should just run away, because he might flash and combo me. He also gets a small movement speed buff, so I need to be careful about that. If I've got no flash, I need to be worried about tower dives, as he can tower dive very well, especially if he gets the shield from his stun passive. Generally, Echo counters immobile champions, and Echo needs to use 3 abilities to proc his passive, and this can be his 2 Qs and his E, so I need to be consciously aware of how many abilities he's doing. He needs 3 abilities for his overpowered passive to proc, and if he's really fed, for example, if I'm 0 and 2, I should at least consider Abyssal Mask, or at least consider the Negatron component of it. If I'm seriously behind, I should not fight at all without some defense, otherwise that will just one-shot me. And defense will help me kite, so it will help me survive if they miss their skill shots. When I'm roaming bot, I need to ping way in advance, If the bot lane seems really unorganized, I should just stop roaming and go back to my mid lane, because there's a strong chance that the gank will fail, and I should probably get the experience from my lane instead of wasting experience and gold from going bot lane. Tilt. If I'm losing, it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing, because I can find out the mistakes and fix them. Fixing mistakes in the long term will help me win games. I need to be thinking about myself, not others. This is something I sometimes do when I'm tilted. I get very angry at my team, when actually I should be thinking about myself. Even when Faker's having a bad game, he just constantly keeps trying. And that means that even if you're doing bad, you should constantly be thinking about yourself. How can you take advantage of such a bad situation? Just keep trying over and over. If I just want to have fun, I should just do flex Q. Zed is best as first pick for me. Kassadin is best as a counter pick, or roughly blind pick as well. Zed is a good first pick, blind pick. Kassadin is not so good as a first pick because I can get hard countered. Katarina is extremely good as a counter pick, for example, versus a Xerath. The longer the game is, the more I should be trying to improve, because I tend to tilt as when the game goes longer, so I should just be trying more and more. Mindfulness. This chapter is called Life Without Stories. Thoughts cause pain, so you don't need to believe them. If you're doing a chore, you think it's a chore because you have a commentary going on in your mind, when actually you should be enjoying it. It is an enjoyable experience, just washing the washing machine. To accept the situation, you can't be a vegetable. You have to accept the situation as it is. A person lost money, he doesn't do nothing about it. He goes to his friends and his landlord, and they help him, and he pays for his rent. A vegetable would not be able to do that. The Dalai Lama gets a lot of followers because he does not fight the Chinese government. He doesn't say, oh, the Chinese government is evil. He doesn't say any of this. He just accepts the situation and spreads his message through other means. All the really big goals, they all need small steps. So you just have to take it slow. And whilst you're doing it, you should be passionate and you should listen. When a person's saying something, just listen to all the words. Don't let your mind commentary take over. Just listen. You'd be surprised at how much they can teach you. For example, myself, a mod punished me randomly, although it was very unfair. But I should have just accepted it positively and asked him why in a positive way. I was actually quite frustrated because it was unfair, and he explained that even though it was unfair that I got punished, the person who insulted me was punished more. I just did not know that. I assumed that the other person was not punished, and maybe if I acted more positively, I would have gave up a positive vibe, but that doesn't matter. People who get the most out of life, they enjoy every single moment in their day-to-day life, and also that does not mean go for the really big highs, the big objectives, because then if you live by only having big objectives, you'll experience very big lows. For example, in solo queue, I should not only be looking for the big the wins, LP gains. I should be taking it step by step and just enjoying every moment as it is. If a child coughs, then the father helps the child, and he doesn't panic. He gets the cough syrup and helps the child. Also, being aware of your thoughts is another form of acceptance. If you have a very bad day, just accept that you have bad emotions and just be aware of it. And once you're aware of it, you are not avoiding it, and you're more likely to overcome it and accept the situation as it is. Okay, episode 8 of the most successful people on the planet. Social media is bad, it's addictive, like cocaine. The ones who are successful are the ones who persevere, even they enjoy the small moments. Those who don't, they get burned out very quickly, and that causes failure. You should also avoid social media as too many bad things, too many high expectations, causes anxiety, causes depression. You should enjoy every single day as if it's your last, because patients at end of life, they They have a very they wish that they use life to help themselves instead of striving for weird things. So you should really just enjoy every day as if it's your last. Big goals needs a lot of small steps, so it's going to be a very big long haul. A good thing to do is just to expect rejection and embrace it. You're gonna get a lot of failure, a lot of mistakes, a lot of bad feedback, but you should embrace it, you should accept it, you should learn from it. If you get down for every single mistake, you're gonna have big problems. A child falls down a lot, but he gets up. If a child just stayed there instead laying down, he's never going to start walking. It's natural just to expect rejection, accept it. You should also train patience. Even 1 hour a day is good. If you can't do 1 hour a day, that's a good sign that you're very distracted. And stop worrying. We're all going to die someday, and you can't be worried about impressing everyone, because you just can't. You can't impress everyone. And when you realize this, when you try and impress a person but they're not impressed, you let them down, but most importantly you let yourself down, and you can't allow yourself to let yourself down, because you are extremely important and life only happens once. So you need to love yourself because you are important. Self-discipline. Sometimes when you're doing new things it feels a bit strange. What you should be doing is just expecting the change, because what actually is happening is your prefrontal cortex, what you're thinking normally, your high executive functions of thoughts, it's fighting the basal ganglia, which is the part of your brain at the back, which is responsible for ingrained things like motor stuff, automatic things like muscle movements. And when those two are fighting, it's developing new ridges, new gyri in your brain, and this will help you turn those strange things into habits. So if you're trying to learn how to use the left hand, it's going to feel strange at first, but if you keep practicing it, you'll develop the gyri to be able to use your left hand. And never forget to halt, which is hungry, anger, loneliness, or tiredness. Just solve it and then carry on, because we're very weak human beings and we're fallible, and we need to fix these problems and then carry on, and whenever the problems reoccur, just fix them. Whenever you fail, just remember it. Don't avoid it, just remember it. Remember how it feels like, and then try and learn from it, like a child learning to stand up and not fall down naturally. Find out the triggers that makes you do bad things, like pornography and cheat days. It's okay to have a cheat day. If you're having a very healthy diet, at some point you're going to feel worn down. Life is good, life is for enjoying, so it's okay to have a cheat day. End of presentation.